Hello, everybody. Alrighty, we are back again. I feel like it's been forever since we saw each other, right? I'm gonna have such a long day. So we got D&D for the next 2 hours ish, and then Kitty Pants is going live at 7:30 Eastern time with her Pal World stream, and then and I'll be on that as well. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, we'll be playing more BattleTech probably, unless we have people that can't make it. So I'm gonna hop into Discord, and Crimson can start doing the recap for everything. So I hope that you all enjoy tonight's session 15. We finally got to the Crimson Keep. Alrighty. And Discord.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, Hero and
Hi!
There he
Zach.
is.
There
Speak of the
he
devil.
is. Everybody's
I'm
just
here.
slowly dogpiling in.
Wait. Well, at least you guys didn't have to hear mine.
Why? What is yours now?
Uh-oh. Do I do it to him? You're streaming. I don't know. Did I do it to you?
Do it.
Can't be that bad.
Of course I do it.
I like feet. Wait.
Yep. That was somehow I expected that. Do you guys want to hear a hilarious clip of me that happened during Repo, and then Eclipse added music to it?
Yes.
All right, so this is legitimately my scream. All right, ready?
No way, dude.
It
really
was.
There's no way, dude. What?
Yeah. We were playing Repo, and I was killed by the floating head, and
I hate that floating head so much. Oh my goodness.
I didn't even know that he could scream like that. It was so funny.
That's hilarious. Congratulations.
I mean, it's not as bad as, I like feet.
Nothing's worse than that. That's all I have to say. I can't escape the allegations.
I guess not.
So how was y'all's Easters?
It was good.
I went to
It was
church.
good. As did I.
Excellent.
What's up?
Crimson, you are a little bit quiet, my friend.
A little bit quiet.
Yeah.
What? A little quiet. What?
Hey, it's
Want
the
me to be louder?
boy.
What?
Oh, I should probably log on to
I
Roll20.
don't know.
Yeah, I should probably.
I don't
do
know
that
why
too.
I'm quiet. I think
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It might just be
Now I can hear
a.
everyone.
Hang
Welcome
on.
in,
Not quite
Saren.
for me.
So I watched the unrendered Minecraft movie. That is so cursed.
Isn't it?
Oh well.
It is so
Unrendered?
cursed. Yes, it was leaked. You know, like if you go on a ARG website, pirate, you can see the unrendered version of it. It's crazy
Our
work.
website. I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I watched it
Snap.
entirely on TikTok because somebody pretty much posted the entire version of it on TikTok.
Nice. I don't know how you. Wow, that's a little wild.
What do you mean by unrendered?
Like,
you
it's
can
not
see the
fully
green
rendered.
screen. Some of the characters don't have
Yeah.
expressions.
Yeah.
Okay,
mhm.
okay. So it's not. It's like just. It's
Not fully rendered. There you go. Sorry, not.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
by the by, since we got everybody here, I am now going to begin with the recollection from last session.
Sounds good.
Those who were not here. Alright. Session the 14th, the Daunted Drunkards. Entering back into the Daunted Drunkard for the second time, the Merciful Misfits entered into an atmosphere of music, good food smells, and familiar faces. Thankfully, there were no enchanted notes being strung out, and this time they had an adventure put behind them. Right inside the tavern, they see Dobbs sitting off to the side, caught up in conversation with the company of the female persuasion. There is a multitude of people crowding around an enigmatic speaker surrounded by posters, like the one they saw outside about the WWT, whatever that was. From one of the tables ahead came a familiar figure, that of the owner of the tavern himself, Sazzy. A delighted look graced his face as he leapt for joy at the sight of the people before him, including Caldez, who he had not been introduced to at the moment. It wasn't until he got into a brief conversation with Aldian that he noticed him at the back of the group, causing him to ask where their other friend had gone. Once the air was cleared, Gale made himself known when he was mentioned of, and it was revealed that Gale helped rebuild the Daunted Drunkard after the attack on Baldur's Gate 1 year ago. Sazzy invites the lot to join him in the room they had first met before their adventure began. Gale went straight for the bar, stating he simply wished to sit out and have a drink for the first time in what he felt like ages. Together as they sat, all began regaling their time getting to New Corriedale, reaching Redjaw's lair, the lieutenant's discoveries they made, and the defeat of Redjaw himself, all while leaving out the visit from the Novus Arcanum and Gale's discussions with them. Sazzy wrote everything down that he could as fast as his hand could sway across the page. He enjoyed every detail, even as he was abruptly asked where the friendly neighborhood rodent Scratch was. At the mention of his name, the little fuzzball ran into the room and darted from one person to another, stopping at Fate as she cast Speak with Animals. She graciously handed him the promised candied nuts she had found back in Torin's demise, causing the fur missile to zip across the room and eventually out of it with the promise of loot to the party. Finishing his note, Sazzy then told the group to meander about the tavern as he got the keys, Deed, and maybe even Dob to come with them to visit their new home. The group split into two. Amelia and Caldez gathered around Gale at the bar, and Fate, Agnar, Gvidas, and Aldian visited the table, surrounded by warriors, wizards, and adventurers in general from all around. As Amelia left to join the others, Caldez noticed Gale appeared to be talking to himself, and as he got closer, he noticed his dialogue to be more pointed at someone else not in the room. After the conversation ended, after speaking of informing the heroes of some matter, he looked over at Caldez, and with surprise and a mug of ale in his mouth, he spewed the contents on the wizard before him and felt awful immediately. Using an unknown spell with the snap of his fingers, he said he learned from a friend and was able to get the alcohol and smell of it off of him, causing Caldez to wonder what it was. Gale revealed he learned the secret from a good friend of his named Elminster, and left that at that, leaving the wizard in training to join the others. Over at the crowded table, the enigmatic speaker began to relay what the WWT was all about. Every year a tournament was held in Waterdeep to determine who was the best of the best from every plane of existence. He hyped up all around him, begging the questions, do you believe yourself strong enough for this challenge? And would you want a title to hold as long as you could keep it and win $24,000, 24,000 gold? Not dollars. Most of the group gave an enigmatic
Dollars?
Yo, what's a dollar?
Yo, dude,
including
is that some new like Sword Coast thing? We got dollars now.
yeah, it's
What's this paper?
It's,
This ain't worth anything.
it's you ever heard of mythocurrency?
That was
Anyways,
funny.
Is this like a D's joke? Am I about to get D's? I have no idea what that is.
No. Most of the group gave an enigmatic and enthusiastic yes, including the strong and silent Agnar, who noticed a familiar face on the promotional material. The face of his old master was there, as well as what appeared to be several of his students and other competitors, not really known to him since he had seen his master in years. Amelia, too, took a chance to look at the promotion herself, finding a name that caused her to burn the material with sacred flame, causing Gavitas to question her sudden spark in anger. Refusing to speak on the matter, she walked off to grab another drink, not knowing
thanks
she
so
would
much for
regret
the,
it sooner than later.
Great. Welcome in.
The speaker then tells them they would have to face the reigning, defending, undisputed champion, Iron Pyre Thurgon Firemane, as depicted on the poster
take
with
him.
the smoking hot orc wife in the
I'm
background.
gonna fight him.
Aldian just chuckled, saying he looked nothing like a challenge, causing some around him to be fact-checked. Because facts, they don't care about your feelings. The delusional Dragonborn. Firemane was the 4-time champion of the Waterdeep Warrior Tournament and the reigning Interplanar champion, besting contenders of every skill set, height, weight, and everything in between. even with the challenge, it still caused him to want to take on the tournament, and even more as well as the others around. So when the guild rates were mentioned of 125 gold per guild, he immediately tried to have them put in. Unfortunately, their guild was very new and had not been registered or identified yet, so they had to be written in based on their own words. Oddly enough, it was a now inebriated Emilia who was able to recall their name, the Merciful Misfits. Scratch returns as they hand over the gold to a man they came to know as Chance McMahon, and in the squirrel's mouth was a potion that only Amelia could identify as a potion of lesser regeneration. Sassy reappeared in the tavern as he asked Daub if he would be willing to join them, to which it seemed he declined. Joining with the rest of the group, he gathered all together outside to take their cart to the Crimson Keep and see their new home. Trekking through the streets, they managed to pass by a square where a little boy, unfamiliar to the rest but familiar to Gavitas, was being held at bay by the shaking of fists from two different groups. Not knowing who was who, the paladin did not care, so he stopped the cart and jumped out to help the child in need and keep the peace. Aldian helped persuade the crowd by intimidating a singular problem starter, causing all to pay attention to their words. Apparently, the boy had gotten a job with an upstart newsletter called The Tomes of Truth. In between the days, they had been in the woods of Sharp Teeth. Half the crowd hated the publication, calling it problematic and false information, passed as truth, as the other half of the crowd called it almost gospel, as it spoke highly of their hero, Asterion. To get the boy out of there, Aldian and Amelia paid for his day's wage and sent him home, wherever it now was. Before he left, he gave them a copy of the newsletter to the party each and headed off, long before a group of flaming fists came in to break up the crowd and potential riot. Before they reached the keep, the party asked Sassy what was going on in Baldur's Gate, and why a hero was being charged with high treason after reading the newsletter. He told them Asterion was being charged with high treason, killing a duke's son, and the kidnapping of a duke's daughter, as well as breaking into a duke's manor of all things. All he knew was that barely any traffic was leaving or coming to Baldur's Gate with no guards on the roads because of the political climate, leading the roads to be unsafe for travel for anybody coming to and from the gate. When they asked Gale of the same, finding out that they had worked together in the past, Gale had no idea if his former fellow adventurer had reverted to his old sinister ways. Now at the Crimson Keep, the party waited outside a massive, old but well-kept fortress with red banners flowing off its sides. Before any, let's see here, Sassy turned the key into the lock, causing a ward to deactivate, leading to a small courtyard. Before any could enter, their means to get inside told them to be careful not to draw their weapons or appear to be hostile, as a simulacrum guarding the keep would attack on sight. Unfortunately, Sassy underestimated how Derringer would react, as he teleported in front of the keep, removing Sassy from the lot and trapping the group first in a zone of truth, and then using runes in the ground to seal them with hold person. He interrogated the lot as a group in questioning their intent, integrity, and their reputation as heroes, to which, after asking all three questions, and with Sassy's angry response, he relented. Now free, their ticket to owning a new guild home opened up the tome, containing the deed to the land and their guild roster, showing his name, Derringer's, Dobbs, as well as several others such as Gareth, and Kaja. All walked one by one and signed their names on the line, except for Amelia at first, who still struggled to write with her current state. Sassy helped her in the end, and with the last signature, the keep was now open to them. At last, the party has acquired the namesake of this campaign, the Crimson Keep. What lay inside the confines of the keep, left behind by Derringer's Daunted? What does Gale have to say to the rest of the group, and who is he talking to back in the tavern? What is going on in Baldur's Gate, and what will the party do next after exploring their new home? That's what we're about to find out here in session 15.
Yay! Drunk Amelia.
Yes. Yep.
Drunk Amelia is like the secret boss character on the character select screen.
Right? It's like Amelia when she's a boss, Amelia when she's a playable character.
Drunk.
So now
Just
standing
drunk.
at the front of the keep here, you see Sassy walk up to the door as he looks over at Derringer and looks over to the rest of the group. And he says, "Well, it's good to have you all here. Now, let's enter inside, shall we?" As he turns jingles the keys on the key ring as he mumbles to himself, trying to find the right one. And as he does, flip to the correct key, puts the
What do you mean,
key into the
Fireshot?
door.
She's always a gremlin.
You hear a clicking
And back
sound
into the
as the
haircut
doors in
and
front of him
chilling with
are
nature.
now open.
Heck yeah, Armor. Welcome in.
Sazzy first steps inside, followed by Derringer, or rather Derringer's simulacrum, who steps a little bit further inside as Sazzy goes around the other side of the table.
Sorry to interrupt. I just had to get up for a second. Real quick, when you said when you were doing the recap, that kid you were talking
Yeah.
about, that I knew, that's the kid from session 1, right? I would assume.
Correct. That
Oh,
is
okay,
correct.
okay.
That is the kid. Yes, the one that you gave 1 gold coin to. Turns out he used that gold
One?
coin to get a job.
1.
I think you gave him
I
1
gave him
gold
half
coin.
of
Or
my
was it
purse.
5? Oh yeah,
I
you gave
think I gave him like 8 or 10, something like that.
something
I think I
like that.
started
He
with
used
15, I gave him
anyway.
7 or 8. Yeah.
He used that gold to not only get a job but also get better clothes.
We're moving.
Nice.
Oh, dude, it's like Dobby showing
Inside
up
the keep?
in the later Harry Potter books. Old Emperor. He's got the nice clothes.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Can you control your character?
Oh, come on inside. Come on. Seriously. You work this hard.
You're
Why don't
walking
you
on
come
a table,
in?
dear.
Dale at the back of the group would say, I'll join you later.
Well,
I'm going to
apparently
explore the
so
keep a
is
little bit.
Amelia.
By my own means. So he goes off out on his own here.
Is Caldes gonna
one
go
time?
follow behind him?
Caldez is almost tempted. Is anybody going to stop him from following him?
Nobody's gonna stop him, and I don't think he's probably going with them.
You know what,
Little fanboy.
Caldez. I'm going to roll a d4.
All right.
1 to 2, Caldez
roll
follows
a
him.
willpower save.
Does he pry himself
Can he
from the
resist?
urge? Oh my gosh.
Wait, what did roll? I don't know. Okay, so 3, he's going to follow you guys.
Okay.
Darn.
If it was 1 to 2, he's going to stalk Gale. But if it was otherwise, he was just going to follow you guys.
Tragic.
Gvitas, are you coming inside?
Yes. I'm sorry, I had missed that part because family had showed up. I'm
Oh,
leaving
okay.
for Ireland tomorrow. If you guys didn't know. So
Yeah,
a
I
lot
know.
a lot of stuff being packed up and a lot of things getting organized. So sorry if I have to step away for a second.
No problem.
It's all right.
Yep. So I come inside as well.
Also,
Caldez
Is my
walks
token?
in.
There it is.
And Derringer, he's going to pop into this room. Excuse me, we haven't even begun the formal tour yet. If you would follow me this way.
just like slowly follows with his head hung low. Dang it.
There was emotion in that token moving.
Yeah.
People say you can't act with like a mask on. Dude acted as a literal picture moving on the ground.
Yeah, right.
It's like the meme of like the bean where it's like what are you, I was like I forgot how it goes where it's like the bean, all it is it's like two beans talking. The one bean makes like the pun and it just zooms into the bean, like it's just a bean,
Oh,
no
yeah,
facial, no nothing. But that knows so
I actually
much
know what you're talking
emotion.
about.
I just
can
saw
remember
that
it.
the other day, actually. I hadn't thought of it in so long, and I just came across it again. It's so funny.
It's like the comics where it's like stick figures without faces at all,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like a zoom in on the pixels,
Yeah.
but nothing there.
They say you
Anyway.
can't hear a picture. Well,
Nah, that's not true.
All right, so is the main hall. As you can see, this extensive table is going to be a lot bigger than, well, the lot of you. Obviously, you're going to be sitting there at the end, and of course, that's Derringer's chair at the end there. Derringer, if you'd please. And as Sazzy says so, you see Derringer close his eyes and bow his head, and as he teleports right over here to the other side of the room, next to his chair, he pulls out this chair and takes a seat in it.
how come
And
Derringer
plants
gets
his
the big
sword.
chair?
Oh, that's because he's the big boy.
This is the simulacrum, right?
Yes, that's a simulacrum of Derringer.
Yeah, it's not even the real Derringer
No.
taking the big seat.
And Sazzy says, all right, so here in the main hall, of course, this is where we held all sorts of celebrations and parties. We would invite some of the politicians from Baldur's Gate. We would invite Flaming Fists. We would even invite other guilds that we worked alongside. It was a good old time here.
Interesting.
Why did you invite politicians?
And Sazzy says, well, it wasn't because we wanted to. It's because we wanted our taxes reduced. I mean, after all, we helped them out.
Okay.
All right. That checks out.
Yeah.
And Caldez walks up and he goes, so, who were some of the other names on that roster? Oh, some of the other names. So, well, obviously there was me and Dob. Then there's Derringer, and to which the simulacrum at the end goes, yes, I am present. And then there was the brother and sister, Garrick and Gareth. Garrick was a wizard. Gareth was a natural with magic. She was incredible. Garrick, on the other hand, was very book savvy. So, you lot, if you enjoy books, you're going to enjoy the library. Well, actually, no. If you do enjoy books, you might not enjoy the library. I don't. Yeah.
You didn't say that in Discord.
What?
I think
I
Aldian was
was
talking
I was wondering where the library was. You said library, and I immediately started scrolling everywhere, trying to find it.
And
I think
Sazzy,
that's it.
Sazzy says, all right, so...
You got to stay with us
Oh.
there.
Fine.
She just goes running off into the room. and then all the-
Library,
really
what do you
would.
mean?
And then she comes running
Like-
back.
I've got a
you
book.
hear a snapping of Derringer's fingers, and you come back into the room. Oh, I forgot to mention, Garrick did a lot of extensive work on Derringer's simulacrum. He can practically control the entire keep with his fingertips. Ooh, don't make him mad.
What do you mean control the entire keep?
He can lock doors. He can activate wards on the walls, the outer walls. He could summon ethereal ballistae on each of the towers.
What sort of wards have been placed here?
And Sazzy says, I'm not entirely sure. That question would have been better for Garrick. Or Gareth, and they're both dead. Unfortunately. I haven't even brought anybody by to inspect the runes. All I gotta do is just trust what they did. Because after all, they made Derringer. And Derringer's kept this place safe. Indeed. But, anyhow. So, which part of the castle do you want to look at first? The west side
The
or
library.
the east side first?
The library
li-
seems like it's a
West,
place
then,
to
or no,
start.
east, I guess, if that's where the library is.
That would be the east.
So you want to go east first?
If that's where the library is, yeah.
Does anybody else disagree? Does anybody else agree?
I see no reason to disagree.
Let's just
Also,
go.
I spy with my little eye a cat on
That
one of the
works.
beds.
So,
Well,
Sounds like a
dibs.
good-
I
alright.
don't see it yet, but dibs.
I see it. I see it.
here we,
I found
Oh,
it.
I
Alright,
see it
here
too. Oh, and it's a double bed. Perfect.
as he goes, all right, here we go. As he sticks the key, it's the same key that he used on the main gate and the main door. It seems to be a general key for the entire keep. As he unlocks this door in front of him and begins walking down this narrow hallway ahead. He's gonna stop right here at this corner.
I'm just kind of like dancing back and forth on my toes.
Come on, pile in, pile in. All right.
Agnar went to the bathroom.
All right, now that we got everybody here, what I'm going to tell you about this area, this is the common quarters for the owners of the keep. So in other words, that would be you guys, all right? So he says as he points to each and every one of you. And he says, all right, so these rooms right here are all single-person rooms, so you can put your stuff in there, your clothes, your armor, your weapons, if you trust to keep your weapons in there. Otherwise, there's another place where you can put your weapons. Just saying. Those are the general rooms. And right behind, as he puts a hand on your shoulder, Gavitas, as he motions behind you. Right behind you there, good sir, as he points towards this room. This room was a recent, not recent fixture, but it was a readjustment by Dob. You see, Sazzy kind of has this sullen look on his face, like scratching the back of his head. You see,
Oh no, is our room haunted?
No. It's not haunted.
Okay.
No, it's just
Yeah.
very sad memory. You see, Dob, he worked very hard on reconstructing the room. That used to be two separate rooms in there. Used to be Dob and then Kaja's on one side. Used to be a hallway too. But he made it a dual room because he and Kaja had grown really close, and he had gone into town before he went on our last quest and bought a ring. And then she ended up dying along with everybody else. On our last mission. Bob doesn't like coming back here. I think it's another reason why he didn't want to come along. But he made a couple sweet right there for any of you. You may be a little close. He says he puts two fingers together and holds them out in front of him.
Caldas and Gale.
Do not give them ideas.
No. And immediately, Cal, are you saying that out loud?
Oh yeah, absolutely I am.
Oh no.
Caldes
Oh,
will look at
infighting.
he'll look at you condescendingly and cross his arms. Yeah, he's not saying anything. He's mad.
Okay.
It would be like Caldes to not have a comeback.
Okay.
I
Well,
just-
it was just a joke, Caldes. I don't actually think that about you.
I wanna ask. This is Sazzy leading us around, right?
Yes.
I'd like to ask Sazzy if he thought that Dom would be okay, like if Aldian and I were in the room, or if he would prefer to keep it empty.
And Sazzy, he scratches at his chin a little bit and says, "You know what? I don't think he would. He already moved all the stuff that he and Kaja had out of the room. He stored it in the storage hall, the storage closet down the hallway."
Well, then if no one objects, we would be honored to stay there. That's very kind.
Obviously, it's a couple suite. You got some room in there. You got a double bed, you know.
Does it come with the cat?
He says, "Oh yes, that's Mr. Whiskers."
You didn't hear Kitty squeal, but oh my gosh.
We
I
heard her
love
through
Mr.
your
Whisker.
mic. We heard her through your mic.
That's funny.
Sorry.
He goes on. He says, "Normally, Mr. Whiskers stays outside. He helps, with the mice population and everything, which we haven't had any trouble since Mr. Whiskers has been here. He's a good, loyal cat, but ever since he's gotten a little bit older, he's gotten a little bit more sleepy. So he likes sleeping on the double
I'm
bed
building
there."
him a bed ramp immediately.
So, right behind me, to my right, is the latrine right there, one of the latrines built into the keep. And right over here, to my left, is the bathroom. You could draw a bath and have a nice wash.
A nice tub.
That's a great tub.
I love it. Yeah.
Indeed, we poured a lot of money into this keep, especially since we got the taxes left off.
Nice. Also, I noticed that there's like a little garden next to the room. Is the door that's in the bedroom? Does that lead to the outside or is that to the latrine?
All right, so
What door are you
because
talking
you
about?
wouldn't be
What
able to
door?
because you wouldn't be able to see it from where
that
you're
door.
standing.
That's a chest.
Oh,
It's a chest. This
I
is
thought it was a
this
door.
is a door right
Never
here.
mind. My bad.
That's a door.
Never mind. Forget I said anything.
Right, so Sazzy would point behind him and say, "The door right behind me leads outside. That leads to the armory outside. That leads to the smithy. Leads to the firing range as well. Or you could do all sorts of stuff with weapons and whatnot, and it makes it easy access in case the keepers attack. You could run outside, go to the armory, grab your gear, get to fighting. You know."
That's awesome.
I'm gonna forge so many things.
Yep. Does anybody have any questions as far?
No. I'm.
Where's
as soon
the
as we're done with the
booze?
library, I'd love to.
No, this can't be the character arc. No.
I think you've had enough, Amelia.
no.
Amelia was on the wagon for 9 years. One sip and it's all gone. It's all over.
Good.
Watch her around the
No.
paintings and the
I can't hear you,
tapestries.
Celeste.
She doesn't want to face her life choices.
Sazzy's gonna shake his head and he's gonna go, "If you want to know about that, I could show you when we get to the western part of the keep. Right now, let's just go a little bit down here towards the library. Only, please." All right, so, he kind of occupies this corner right here. He'll point to his right and he says, "All right, so over here, a nice. This is library part 1, or rather an office that Garrick and Gareth both used as part of the library, and to my left right here is the other half of the library. We had to split it into 2 different rooms because we didn't have enough space to hold all the books in general. Not that there are any left. And for anybody going inside the library, if you're trying to find anything, roll an investigation check.
2.
Dang.
I just was way too excited about the
I'm gonna poke
idea
my
of
head
books.
in fear, so I'll roll as well. Where's my character sheet?
Fate's a little beside herself. She's like, "Oh, whiskers! Oh, bedrooms! Bathtub!" A little distracted.
I'm just like, it smells like paper.
Amelia, as you enter into this side of the room right here, yes, you do catch the whiff of paper, old paper and whatnot. You walk into here, and of course, Kaliz, he's going to walk down here. He's going to take a little bit of a peek in himself.
Agnar's
So,
very
Agnar.
investigative.
Woohoo!
Agnar, as you look about the room and whatnot, you see papers scattered in a more neat fashion. But the library that you're looking in was used by Garrick and his sister Gareth, as well as the other room across the hall. The library contains as you look upon the shelves, you notice that there's sparse -1 on there. Or rather, it looks more like a journal.
Ooh.
What'd you find, Agnar?
Agnar grabs the journal from where it was and puts it over to Aldian.
As soon as you pick it up, you hear a thunderclap from one of the other sides of the keep, and all of a sudden, standing on top of the bookcase, boom, is Derringer. What do you think
What
you're
did we
doing?
do?
No, we found his
What?
diary.
Put that book back in the bookcase now.
Agnar begrudgingly puts the journal back in place.
Just
And,
very slowly. puts it back.
Also, he said nothing the whole time, so he just like reached one way, the simulacrum appeared, and he just like put it back.
Mr. Simulacrum, sir.
Derringer.
Yes.
Can you recommend a book?
And Derringer would say, "I cannot recommend a book," as he takes the journal He grabs it with some force out of Agnar's hands and puts it back on the shelf. And as he does, you notice a series of runes glow over it and dissipate.
Well, what's the point of having a book if you can't read it?
First and foremost, let me tell you something about this keep that Garrick and Gareth installed to make reading faster for them. If you bring any book within the keep, put it on these bookshelves, or put it in my hand, as long as it isn't cursed, as long as it isn't warded, as long as it is not possessed, I can read it.
Well, then how come you can't make a recommendation?
Why
I
can't we
can't
read
make
the
a
book?
recommend. I can't make a recommendation first and foremost because there are no books in here, mainly because Sazzy sold them all. You hear
Sassy.
You hear Sazzy outside go, yeah, about that, I had a good reason for it, Derringer. Mind you, I put everybody else's journals back in the safe, okay? Second of all, I sold all those books in order to help out our neighbors, okay? After the city got devastated when we were attacked by the cult a year ago, there were a lot of people that were hurting. A lot of people that lost their friends because they turned into squid faces. People killing their neighbors in order to defend themselves. It was a horrible sight. There was a lot of funerals that had to be had. There was a lot of homes that had to be rebuilt. There were even people who killed themselves. It was a horrible sight.
Ah, yes.
So,
Nothing fixes a
yeah,
good
so
squid face
that's-
like a book.
Well,
I'm not saying that out
we-
loud, FYI.
if we ever travel around, I understand, Sazzy, and I don't blame you, but as we travel, we should definitely keep an eye out for some books and try to rebuild the library.
Sazzy would say, yes, yes. If you have any books on you right now, you could put them in the library if you wish.
Didn't Caldes have a book on him?
He had a scroll.
Calde-
Oh.
Book.
No, he has a spell book. Actually, I'm going to have people roll, let's see.
I'm
For
trying to see if I have
Fate,
anything.
Fate, Caldes. I'm trying to think who all was standing there. Fate, Caldes, I think Amelia too,
Yeah.
and Aldean. History check.
History check? Okay, alright.
Yes, history check.
You got
Aw.
it.
I wish I had help with that one. That would have been good.
History. Ooh, I'm super historical. Never mind.
Yeah, I had +2 and
I
I
had
got a
+3.
7.
Okay, that
Well,
rolls
Just
for
building up your luck-
Caldes.
just building up your luck for later.
That rolls for Caldes, by the way. As would
Okay.
then mention, hold on just a moment. Didn't we pick up some journal from the chest that appeared? Some old
Did we?
book?
Which chest?
The chest that had the amulet in it? The one that I picked
The amulet
up?
that possessed Caldes.
Yes, that one. He says begrudgingly.
Maybe.
Everything okay, Fireshot?
It might be in my pack then if it was in that. But I haven't opened my pack and I also don't have the amulet written there, probably because of how finicky this item list has been. If
See
somebody
here.
else doesn't have it, I
Mhm.
think it would be safe to assume I would have it if nobody else saw
I'll-
it. Like,
Well,
Let me check
if
my
you
notes.
Need to,
check your notes.
Fireshot, if you need to talk, my DM's
Caldes
open,
is packed.
you know, if you want to talk about it
Spoken
or
at the
anything like
golden
that.
statue that summoned a chest. To our hero and Dragakin, we hail torn our failure. I don't. I have it in my notes like what it said, but that was just what was written on it. So I don't think I have the book or anything.
I think I have it.
I
Yeah.
did
Yeah, I don't
notice
have it.
something that I did not have last time, and nobody told me about it.
What?
So
Oh, secrets?
What is
yeah, apparently I'm not. Well, I'm not gonna say anything just in case.
I think I added something to your character sheet because I had your character sheet last time, so I mean,
Okay. Well, you didn't do a good job telling me everything that happened then.
Okay.
You didn't
Was
it the
tell me
potion?
about my.
Uh,
No.
So it's
Okay,
either
never mind. We're not gonna say
either
anything. then.
Fate
Okay.
or Gavitas that has the journal. One of the two.
Yeah. I
I
also
did
have a
not,
prayer
so
book.
I
I have
would
a book.
assume that
I have
he
a prayer
did.
book. A book of prayers.
I
Who
I
has
only
a
have
journal?
a letter from a dead colleague.
I
which
don't
is
have it.
Kind of sad. Did we get one?
I'm gonna roll a d4.
Okay.
Just roll it. Roll it on who has it.
Yeah.
That will be all right. That'll be Gavitas.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. I was gonna say, 'cause the only thing that I have written
Um,
down is I had the shift logs still from Gluzgut. That's the only thing that I
Okay.
had. Oh, and a
Can the
prisoner
s- hold-
exchange note. But that was it.
Can the simulacrum interact with the physical world?
He can.
He just took a book.
He
yeah.
took a book from Agnar
Yeah.
and put it back on the shelf.
Oh, he took it?
Aggressively.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
thought
took it.
Agnar put it back. Okay, my bad.
No.
All right,
You're
so
fine.
I'm going to ask this question, and I don't want this to have an answer. What happens if the simulacrum touches the amulet?
Ooh.
Probably nothing.
Nothing.
'Cause he's not
or
a-
nothing good.
Yeah, one or the other, yeah.
And
He's
you
not a
said you
living
wanted to
thing,
find a
that's true.
priest more than anything else.
Spooky.
Yes. I need to. Yeah. If I have it, I'm just going to
Journal?
take the pack and pour it out onto the ground. The one that has the amulet in it. So
Okay.
that has all of my stuff. So that way we can get the book, and not have to fish
Okay.
through the bag and potentially touch the amulet.
So as you drop the book on the ground, you see Derringer look around the rest of the group. He snaps his fingers, and as he does so, he pops in from the library out into the hall outside. As he looks between the pendant and the book, he grabs the book first and holds it in his hands. And as he does so, closes his eyes. And as he closes his eyes, he pops open the lock on the book itself, opens it, and as he does, you see the pages begin to flip rapidly.
I remember this now. I remember this book now. It was locked. That's why we never opened
Yes.
it or anything. I remember now. And
He's
I
able to
remember
easily
stuffing
pop
it in
the
my
lock.
pack very quickly because it was after the amulet thing. I
And
remember.
as he breaks the lock off of the book itself, opening it, you see as he closes his eyes, have you ever seen anybody talk about dreaming in dreams, what people do?
Like
specifically?
what people do in dreams?
Like when they're asleep and when they're dreaming, like rapid eye
When they're in
movement.
rapid eye movement? Yes.
You see Derringer standing there, his eyes scrolling as almost like he's reading these pages faster than you could see the pages flip themselves. And as he does, in the matter of a minute, he closes the book, snaps shut, and hands it to you, Gavitas.
I take the book.
All right. I could summarize the book if you want. I could even tell you the key points of this book, which, by the by, it's not a book, it's a journal.
Well, please do. Give us a rundown.
All right. So, first and foremost, the majority of this journal covers a dragon priestess by the name of Torin. She seemed to be heavily infatuated with a dragonborn that she had met, that was sent specifically by Tiamat to observe their cult. This particular dragonborn that she fell in love with is not mentioned purely in name, but is mentioned purely as the loved one. The issue that she came across, she wanted to expand upon her influence with the cult and to continue on her leadership for generations. She wanted to have offspring with him. The only problem is that Dragonborn cannot conceive outside of their own race. With that being said, she developed an elixir that she notes right... what was it? Page 85, I believe. They're not numbered, but it is the 85th page if you scroll correctly.
And which I will as he talks.
As you're flipping through, he continues on. On this page, referred to as the elixir of dragon kin, an elixir that permanently changes the DNA of a non-dragonborn that consumes it. And it gives the following benefits to whoever consumes it. You'll have the capability to use the breath weapon, similar to the dragonborn of which was used in order to create the potion in the first place. Number 2, they will have a stronger constitution about them, to be able to deal with more of the frights and perils of this world. And number 3, of course, they will be able to bear children. It's a dragonborn.
Without complications? Or
And as you wait, are you mentioning this out loud?
yes. Is it
And,
Yod without complication?
Have you flipped to the page yet?
If I have had enough time to do it, because you said they're not numbered, so I would assume he's like flipping
Yes.
through, like reading a section and then going ahead, or like counting them by hand.
You could just try skimming through it and roll a D100.
Oh, let's go. First D100 roll, I think, of the campaign.
That's awesome.
Yes.
94.
Oh,
Ooh.
You scroll right past it as you flip through the
Katybug
pages,
VP is
and
now a part of the Pants Gang.
up on a
Yo,
page
Katybug,
that
welcome in.
mentions something about goblins and elves working together to potentially
thanks for
overcome
the follow.
their
Really
forces.
appreciate it.
Hey,
I-
Caldez, you see this?
Did I hear something about me having a baby?
If you drank the potion,
And I would
And,
be careful. There are more reasons
you-
why things cannot reproduce together than just simple genetics.
Yeah.
There is physiological things as well. You wanna
Your-
push a dragon head out?
Well, that's.
Horns
I
and all?
mean,
Derringer,
it sounds like it would turn me into a dragonborn like my husband, and
so
well, it wouldn't turn you into a
Derringer,
dragonborn. It would just give you the breath weapon, and then higher
And then the
constitution,
ability.
and then said that you could.
I could.
It's like a genetic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
what
can have a baby.
Derringer
I
would
guess.
elaborate from the notes as you could flip backwards. As he would point his finger out onto the pages as you flip out to it, specifically where to turn in the book at this point. Kind of slightly annoyed that you didn't find it in the first place.
Yeah.
And as you flip to the page, you notice there's a significant portion of the page missing,
Ah,
as if it was
Physically
torn
torn?
out. Yes, physically torn out. As you look in the list of ingredients, only one of the 4 ingredients is mentioned in the recipe specifically. It doesn't mention what the ingredients are. It mentions that there are 4 ingredients necessary. And as the list of ingredients begins, the only ingredient that's listed are 4 dragon scales. Specifically.
well, where are we gonna find those?
Fine powder.
Yeah, where do you find those?
Oh, they're so difficult to come by.
The dragon's dead.
So specifically that would
Dragonborn?
come from the Dragonborn, yes.
I guess. I mean, whatever, man. I can pull off 4 on my
They
scales.
grow back?
Yeah.
Can you just do that? Can you just do that?
Sure. Why not?
So
I don't know. Agnar's wearing a belt made of my people's skin, so
The silence.
So, Derringer would mention this, and he would say, here's specifically, if you read on the page, it mentions that, of course, a non-dragonborn would not be able to. It would be harmful in the process, have to produce an egg and everything. Anyways,
Oh, they lay eggs? Dragonborn lay
offspring-
eggs? And I look over at Albion.
believe
do I
so.
look like I lay eggs to you?
No, you, but not you, but a woman.
I believe I would lay the egg. Question.
So,
But it could be
Derringer-
like a penguin thing where you have to keep it warm.
Albion just has like
As
an egg around
everybody-
his feet for like 4 months, and he's just waddling around the keep.
Excuse you, I would wear it in a kangaroo pouch. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. That's how it
Derringer
works.
face palms. He points to the part in the book. He says, "Listen." Right here on the page, it says that the offspring would take the character traits of female. It would take
Of the
some
what? It
traits
cut
female.
out.
Of the take the traits of the
female.
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 So-
Okay.
It would take some traits of the male, but it wouldn't cause any sort of altercation. Now, say if the devourer of the beverage was a male, it would help in order to produce offspring in the female. It's a complicated process. You can read it out on the page yourself. I'm no doctor. Never was.
Wait,
I
do
was
I
a
have the
paladin.
page?
Oh, what? You didn't read a book about being a doctor?
Derringer shake his head. Enough of this. I'm out of here. He snaps
Okay,
his
bye.
fingers. He disappears
Bye.
out of sight.
Well,
Do you want to
Okay.
read my prayer book? It's pretty cool. There's a lot of nice things in there.
I want to read stuff.
As he disappears, there is the lingering information of the elixir of dragonkin, so you now know about this.
Okay.
I'm going to hand the book over to Fate. Still at that page for her,
Okay.
Oh.
so that she can read it herself and peek through it all.
Yes, I would love to read.
Thank you for the alert, Katie Bug,
That-
and
What does it
God bless
say
you
exactly?
as well.
It's specifically on the page itself. It mentions about Torin's want to continue her influence over the cult. It mentions that she wanted to, basically increase her closeness with this particular lover that she mentions in her journal entries. So, in order to do so, she believed that producing offspring would do so and also advance the goals of her specific dragon cult. So she developed this elixir using the information given to her through prayers to Tiamat. And also through the alchemists that were involved with the cult as well.
Hey, real quick, Crimson, was this a prefabricated map that you found? Okay, because the reason why I'm asking is because there's a door right here that's behind a bookcase that leads to a room with chests. But how does one even access door?
Oh, take the right book.
Right?
It's your first time being in a cool house.
There are no books, though.
I forgot
Well-
about that. I forgot.
Probably.
There's
probably
one
makes
book,
it
and there's
even
nothing written in
easier
it.
to find a lever,
There's a
you know?
single
Wait,
book.
Well, yeah. So there's the one book that triggers the mechanism is the only
Yeah.
thing left in there. because
Right?
It's like mechanically attached.
Or like Zazie like ripped it off of
said
there and
it-
been like, that probably wasn't important, right?
No, who said it was a book? Anyways,
Yeah, I
As
would
he-
like the lever.
as he would say-
now.
Sassy would then look between everybody else and say, so, shall we continue?
Sure, let's go.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, there's not
See the
much left
map
of the
of the war
libraries. Yeah, there's not a lot left of the libraries here.
Just
Down
gonna
here
dance around some
is
more.
As our war room. This
War
specifically
room.
is where this is where we plotted out our missions, where to go. There's a bunch of maps in there from where all we went. We
Map.
marked a whole bunch of places. And as you look around, on each of you, whoever's, let's see, Agnar, Vitas, Aldian, and Fate to make an investigation check as you look about the room.
Yeah.
Also, so who has the elixir right now?
I think I do.
Okay.
Elixir.
The elixir that we picked up from the chest that while Caldez was possessed, the unknown entity gave me an
The
elixir
one that like
and was like,
conveyed
"Oh,
the dragon
here you go.
horns
This
or
is for
whatever.
you."
Yeah, it increases, yes, the one that increases your breath weapons capability.
Oh, so we don't have the.
Oh, we don't have
the
that. Okay,
elixir.
gotcha.
We don't. No, we
to
don't have the
make
reproduction
me-
thing.
Okay.
Correct.
But that
No, correct.
was how to make it then?
Yes.
Yes, you
At
just
least,
have the instructions to
mostly.
make it.
Gotcha.
At least
Gotcha.
one ingredient.
I was about to say,
Okay.
because like a bunch of the stuff is missing. Because it was ripped out.
Did we need that elixir as part of it?
No,
You don't
the
know.
one ingredient. The
Okay,
one
all right.
ingredient.
Well, then
we
I'm
only
not
saw
gonna
the one
drink it.
ingredient, which was the dragon scales, right?
So with a Aldean with a 10, as you look about the room, you look at these maps scattered about you,
Mhm.
and on the table specifically, as I was looking about the shelves and whatnot, you notice there are specific X's marked all up and down the Sword Coast.
Hmm. Zlazzy, what are these X's for?
X's. Oh, yes. Excuse me. So, all of these places here are places that we visited. Specifically, me and Dob, for the time being. Retracing our steps, going back, seeing people. This last, well, as he points to a red X on there. This one, a little bit of a tough one. As he points to a red X that is all the way in Anarok, the deserts of Anarok. That was our last quest right there, where everybody perished. Wanted to go back and reclaim all the bodies to send them home, but we were too afraid to try and go back inside the temple. You see him kind of this almost not frightened, but just haunted look about him as the memories slide back into his mind.
You said this was a Sword Coast map, right? Mr. Crimson?
Yes,
It's a Sword Coast map, right?
correct, it is.
Okay. Do we have a Sword Coast map in our notes and stuff?
You have a map of Baldur's
No.
Gate.
We have
You
map
can
Baldur's
add.
Gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sazzy
Where
would say, well,
is
that's...
the place that that he's talking about.
you need to go lay
Did you
down.
say it was to the south?
No, he said it was in Anarok. Deserts of Anarok.
If you don't think that you're gonna be able
Anarok
to
is
play
not in the
Final
Sword
Fantasy,
Coast?
like,
I mean,
Wait, I see
it's
it, I
covered
see
by
it,
the
I see it,
Sword
I see
Coast
it.
map.
I see it. I was thinking like phonetic. It's Anauroch to the east. Got it.
Yeah,
Looking at the
Anarok.
map right now. Yes.
And he would point to it and says, that's the place where, well... really don't like to remember it all that much, anywho, but yes, it's all the places that we visited previously on our adventures. We marked it for old time's sake.
Interesting.
We got all sorts of maps from all the places that we visited, even beyond the Sword Coast, so if you wanted some maps, you know, in places we haven't exactly visited, you could pick them up right here. Cities, villages, all that kind of stuff. We got into tourism big time. For a while.
So you sold all the books, but not the maps?
The map's really
Yeah,
not worth much.
well, that's the thing. We sold...
For sentimental.
Yes. Unlike the books. The books were not sentimental. I mean, there were some books on plays. There were some books on specific medicinal remedies. There were even joke books. Derringer was big on joke books, oddly enough.
That's so loud.
Please tell me Derringer practiced stand-up at on the stage in the main hall.
Are you saying that out loud?
Because
I would pay good gold
yeah.
to see Derringer
yes,
do
I will say
comedy.
So Sazzy would look over to him and say, you wouldn't believe it, but as much of a stick in the mud as he was, being the paladin that he was, he had a good sense of humor about him. A dark sense of humor, but a good sense of humor about him.
I find that hard to believe.
So,
I'd like
Anyhow.
to imagine he told like Norm Macdonald.
this is the east wing of the keep, but it almost slipped my mind. Hang on a second. Excuse me, Agnar, excuse me. Excuse me, Amelia. Coming through. If you'll follow me to the library, please. I want to show you lot, spiders.
Library.
Says as he walks into here, he's like, all right, where is it? Where is it specifically? You see him reach into the crevice right here between this grate and the bookcase. And as he does, you see him slip his hand behind the bookcase. And as he does it, you hear a loud and audible click as the bookcase then slides aside. This a ways. And as it does, it reveals a room hidden behind here, where you see
The coffer.
multiple chests. Yes, you see multiple chests hidden back there.
Secret room.
He says, so, this room right here, let me tell you this. This room is the most secure. This room is the most secure room in all of the keep. Let me tell you why. Gareth put some of the strongest wards on this room specifically because we picked up some pretty powerful magical stuff. I sold that stuff as well. The sorceress sundries. Listen,
Are you saying this is a load-bearing ward?
These
Sorry.
are load-bearing wards, Jerry. Hammer, what's
Apologies.
going
Go
on in
ahead.
there? It's Mistra. It's Mistra, Jerry. And it's
Also,
the red
anybody else
light.
notice how Amelia is now upside down?
Yeah, I
Oh.
did that.
Oh, okay.
I just found out you can turn your you can like change the facing of your
Yeah.
That's neat.
things. And I for some reason still have access to her thing, so I just flipped her upside down.
That's hysterical.
Wait, how do I flip mine then?
You have to right click and then advanced transform.
No, you don't. You click. Actually, what I did is I just clicked mine, and you see there's like a little blue circle to the top right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grab that,
interesting.
Oh.
And you
You
Oh,
spin
but
me
how-
right
Oh,
round,
I was
baby,
hoping
right
I could
round.
like make
that,
it
that would be
like
useful
reverse
if we were
it.
doing facing for anything. That would be
Ah.
useful.
Yeah. Because I was like, I want to be able to look at my husband, but that's I'd be upside down. So
That's why you flip
Anywho.
your character
how do
through
you
advanced transform.
flip
Right
it?
click and then do advanced transform.
Sazzy would mention to the rest of the group, oh, if you get anything, acquire anything on your journeys, and you want to store it away someplace where you could trust it will be, you could put it in here. We have plenty of chests inside for you to store everything in. Most of them are empty. That one chest in the corner right there that's chained up, none of you can touch. Bob's the only one who has the lock for that lock and key right there.
So who's in it?
The only key for that lock. And Sazzy, he would turn he said, there aren't any bodies in there if you're asking.
Can't touch or shouldn't touch.
No, cannot touch and should
It depends on
touch
your
because-
definition of free will.
both apparently. Yeah.
Because, and he says, that is because that was all of Kaja's belongings. The family still hasn't arrived yet.
So if I
How long's it
trip
been?
accidentally and my hand lands on it, is Derringer gonna like suddenly fly into the room and scold me for not being vertical or whatever?
I don't
And
know, but
Sazzy
Dob
shakes
might
his
kill
head.
you.
Sazzy shakes his head. He's like, no, none of the above. Goodness gracious. Now, however, if you do try to break
Yeah,
in,
dear.
Dom,
Gosh.
if you do,
Dumb question.
you do try to break inside of there, Dob has told Derringer to use all force necessary to stop whoever's doing it. So, just in case, all of a sudden you see Caldes at the back of the room rubbing both of his hands together.
No.
If he comes near me,
No.
I'm tripping him.
No.
I mean,
Why would Caldes do anything?
don't know.
He's lawful good. Why would he do anything like that?
yeah, why would he do anything like that? You know, like
why would he do anything?
slitting
He's
the
awful
throats
good.
of bad guys? You know, why would he do
Yeah,
something
like
Yeah.
splitting the throats
You
of
know-
sleeping defenseless bad guys.
Hey,
Ooh.
they were green. They had it coming. So says.
Oh.
Caldes.
Whoa!
my
whoa!
Whoa.
You can't
Did
just
you
call
just
me
do
green.
a
Whoa.
racism?
You say, "Whoa, that's what he's
Gobble-
like." I'm not even
Gobble
misunderstanding
was
it.
green. Gobble
And
was
he almost
green.
killed him.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, did you forget?
It's like Jim Carrey's The Grinch. It's because I'm green, isn't it?
Pointing at the room, Sassy would reach towards the switch on the wall right here, hidden just behind where the bookcase had slidden. As he presses
Too
it, the
bad it wasn't
bookcase
a switch
slides.
too.
It slides.
Sorry.
Well, let me just say that the switch, the button itself would be a lot more expensive if that was the case. Anywho,
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
as Sassy walks over here
No,
and
we got
opens
the
this,
Japanese one, so it's cheaper.
he
Oh.
opens this
It's a good
door
one.
right here, going back into the main hall. He says, "Now then."
Oh, neat.
As we look over here on the other side of the keep, this room here is really for any sort of expansion, if you will, of the guild. If you have any sort of expansion at all in any particular, or
Recruit.
say you decide to hire a butler, a maid, a chef, they would all be sleeping in here. This is the servant quarters, mostly.
Or
Yes.
Icy's room when he makes me mad.
Oh,
Ouch.
Aldian, I meant. Sorry.
Can Derringer teleport our gold into the coffer?
Teleport your gold into the coffer?
Yeah, because we have all those the 3,000 gold on our cart that's just kind of sitting outside, and you know, I don't want it to disappear.
As he kind of scratches his chin a little bit, he's like, you know what? I never thought of using him as a personal bank. Hey, Derringer! Can you move? He looks down at the table. He's like, hey, Derringer! These guys got some chests outside. Would you be willing, nice enough to, as long as it doesn't involve talking about medical practices, people's bodies, bodily fluids, or anything of the such. I'll do it. And as he says so, he stands up from his
Sailing, you're
chair,
wild.
begrudgingly, snaps his fingers, and he is gone. He pops outside of the keep. Oh, I guess he can operate as a personal banker. Anyhow, he's going to take care of those chests. Some pretty strong arms.
Yo, Kitty,
Anywho,
thanks so
yes,
much for
this is
gifting
where
Sarah
the
a-
servants
a
or any
sub.
extras that you might bring to the guild. Then again, I think you guys have a nice number amongst yourselves. So, that being the case, or, if you, he says he looks around at the group. If you have any kiddos, just in case. But anywho, now then, plenty of room for that. Anywho, let's step over here, if you'll follow me. There's a nice small hallway right here that leads to another series of rooms. He puts the key into the lock and opens a door in front of him. He steps
Sorry.
inside and steps into the door just off, or steps right here, like he's hugging the corner of the doorway right here as he opens this door around him.
Oh, that's a wall.
And he points his hands around him and he says, all right, so first up here to the north is an extra dining room, and in case you want to have more private dining, that kind of stuff, a little bit more serene, or specifically for any of the servants, maids, whatever, that you might invite into the keep and hire on to take care of it. You can dine in that facility right there. Right behind me, behind you, Aldian, is another loo. So it's another loo that you could use that we built into the keep. There's one on each side in case somebody preoccupies the other one. Oh, had too many beans. There's another loo on the other side of the keep, just in case. Or in case Amelia decides to have too much to drink. Either way.
She's replacing her trash bag.
So, anywho, also, Amelia, if you're interested, I could point to you to where the beverages are. We keep them stored away.
No, don't do that. No, don't do that.
Sassy walks in here.
I think
Is
she's.
this here is an old...
Alcohol.
is- no.
She said four
See-
things this session, and then three of them have been about alcohol. It's so
There's-
Jover,
There's,
dude.
as he
That looks-
points to the entirety of this kitchen, and he says, "This is an all-star kitchen. Yes, we had it equipped with the best of the best, mainly because Dob wanted to experiment with all sorts of foods and whatnot, and we let him experiment with all sorts of foods. That's also why we had to replace the chimney over there. He actually blew up the chimney one point in time, but that was an interesting
it was.
What
recipe.
food? What food was he making that it blew up a chimney?
Listen, don't
Well,
ask questions you don't want answers to.
It looks
No,
like there's
no,
meats and potatoes on the table, so maybe he was trying to make vichyssoise.
So, have you ever? Do you
Neat.
know that did you know that dragons have this big old sack inside of them that their breath comes out of?
No, I had no idea. What?
So, yeah, well, of course you know. You know.
Please
says
do tell me
holds his
more.
hand- he holds his hand and as he looks all up and down, he says, yes, you, right there. But anywho, yes, he tried to he tried to increase the heat on a specific recipe using a part of the breath sac of a dragon that we had slain, and it exploded a little bit, and yeah,
Oh,
Bobby had some
my
second-degree
goodness.
burns for a while. And Fate, as you walk into that room, I'll need you to make a perception check as you're looking about the room, just like a general look, because depending on if you're in like looking intricately in the boxes and everything, unless you're just looking at are you just looking at the room or looking in the boxes and whatnot?
I wanted to kind of like, I'll look in the boxes and stuff too. Like, I wanted to see if it was a pantry type thing. So, like,
So yes, with the 13, you could tell this is the pantry area in here. You could also see like various grains and vegetables, mostly goods that would last a while, are stored up in here. You also happen to notice underneath the shelf several kegs that are stored underneath there. One of which is labeled Waterdavian whiskey. The other one is labeled. It's actually written in a language you can't understand.
ooh, a language I can't understand. I know, like, a
Derringer,
bunch
what
of
language is it and what does it
Ooh.
say?
I'm gonna kind of like scoot a box to like cover those up.
As you say Derringer's name, he would utter out of nowhere. You could hear this booming voice say, "I'm trying to unload these chests. I cannot stop there at the moment. If you'd mind."
Man can teleport all across the keep, but he has to naturally walk in the gold.
So yeah, he's teleporting. He is teleporting the gold inside the keep, but he says, "I said I could read books, not barrels."
So we just need to take a picture of the book, a picture of the barrel, and put it inside of a book. and we got it.
Yes, just take a quick picture with your cell phone of the.
I mean, or we just take a piece of paper and put it over the engraving or the writing.
And
Tracer.
Derringer says, He says, "What barrel are you referring to specifically?"
Is this a barrel I would actually know about, or is Kitty looking?
Kitty's the one who's looking.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was
Yeah,
keeping things
my bad.
secret. I was gonna cover up
my
the
bad.
boxes, like cover them up with boxes, I guess.
And he utters aloud, "If it's the barrel right next to the Waterdavian whiskey, it is Neverwinter Orange."
That sounds delicious.
Game fuel?
He said,
Does
he said, no, he said, no.
Fuel.
Oh my god. Derringer would say, "No, it is Neverwinter Orange. It is Dobbs' favorite blend. It's an ale that comes from Neverwinter specifically."
So it's off limits.
well, I guess everybody knows about it now, so okay.
As you utter that word, and Derringer says, "No, it's not off limits. Dobb left it up here for a reason. He has another keg back at his own personal estate."
I'm gonna take out my mug and get me a cup.
All right. You can do so.
You just like have a mug.
Yeah,
on
no,
you.
I do. I have.
He does.
Technically, I have a
Slumbering
I have a,
dragon vessel.
Yeah, slumbering
Most-
dragon
yeah.
vessel.
And then
Okay.
besides most people, everyone has some sort of drink holding implement on their person.
Yeah, mine just says water skin, but it's a.
No, it's fine. Fill up your water skin with Neverwinter Orange.
No, thank you. I don't drink.
Make sure it has the right lining,
His
though.
water skin with Neverwinter.
Or it'll just. Or
Yo,
it'll
a
wait, you're
monk
just
who
dumping
drinks?
out-
Heck yeah!
Wait, you're just dumping out your water skin and you're just looking around like
Be a man, do it.
Yeah.
Well, at least dump the water skin in the
no,
pot here,
everyone's
and I'll make
falling
some
off the
soup.
wagon.
Not me. I don't drink.
Oh gosh.
I can't get
Amelia,
drunk, so
Wait, I see it. I see Amelia moving. Oh no.
Give me the boo.
Oh no.
Give it.
Oh no. Oh.
She takes a
someone
picture
clip
full
that
of
and I'll
it.
turn it into a sound.
Look, I tried to prevent this, but somebody's got a big
See,
mouth.
Amelia, I need you to make a perception check with disadvantage because of your current state.
How do I do it with disadvantage?
It's just gonna be the second number.
It'll roll.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll
that's
roll
the
two
second
numbers.
number.
The lowest.
Oh, you know
the
what? I
lowest of
never
the
knew
two
that.
numbers.
Oh.
That's unfortunate.
Wow.
Hey,
Well then.
with the 15, you
She's
not
motivated
only
by
notice
alcohol.
Aldian, you not only notice Aldian walking out with this mug full of swishing liquid. With your nose, you could pick up the hint of orange in the air and alcohol coming from the vessel, and immediately seeing Aldian coming from there, you could tell where he got the stuff from.
Mm.
Way to go.
You're gonna share
bad.
a little bit of that, right? She pulls it out of
Fine.
his hand.
Ah!
Takes a
Wait,
nice.
wait,
Well,
are you
sip.
trying? Are you trying to take it from him?
Yeah. Okay. What do I need to roll next?
Make a
do I need
competing
to
strength
roll?
check, the both of you.
Oh no, he's gonna
Make a
win.
competing- yes.
I'm just gonna sling her
check
against
You
the
know
versus
that would
wall.
be really. That would be really funny if I somehow got this.
What?
Probably
check
not.
versus strength
Vows,
check.
Amelia.
Oh my goodness.
Amelia, what vows did you take when you became a cleric?
Ooh, hey.
Definitely not. Definitely
You're
not about
fierce.
alcohol. That's
So-
for sure.
Aldian's just able to take the mug away from you, not even spilling a drop.
Nice.
Tried it from him too. You're like, oh man.
Man.
I think you've had enough, Amelia.
Uh.
So Sazzy, as he looks at the rest of the group and says, "I think you guys are going to enjoy this place. Also, you could also get some kegs from us. I'm just saying, we provide some of the stuff that we have here. Anyhow, not free of charge though. You're going to have to pay some gold in order to get it from us. But anyhow, moving on. Shall we go outside and take a looky loo?
I'm gonna down the alcohol real fast and then hand the now empty mug but refilled with water to Amelia. And it's just gonna be, I'm just gonna look at her very sternly and just go, drink.
Fine.
Do you have like? Do you guys have like electrolyte powder or something?
So
Liquid
Electrolyte
IV.
powder?
Aldian,
What's up?
since you chugged that whole in one standing, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage at first.
All right, you got it.
I feel like I should technically have some electrolyte powder.
IRL.
You probably do.
Oh, that's not great.
I mean,
Okay.
technically, you just put salt, a little bit of salt in it, and it counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, years of experience, not specifically in competitions, maybe not in competitions with your fellow soldiers. With an 18, you're easily able to chug that down and have no effect whatsoever. But a good taste
Nice.
and a burp.
Delicious.
Sazzy, you'll look at the rest of the group and say, "So, outside, let me show you around here. We've got some gardens established around. If you guys are done in here,
Kitty, come on. There's gardens to be found.
Gardens!
and as you guys
Oh, yes,
as
we
you
got
guys
one.
exit into the hall around, I need you to make a perception check."
All right.
Ah, yeah. Sorry.
Nice.
I finally got a good
Hey.
roll.
Fate, you'd be the first to notice that Valdez is nowhere to be seen. You don't know where he went.
Oh my gosh, where did he go?
I'll give you 3 guesses.
Ah.
Ugh. This man.
So yes,
I didn't even have to
Caldas
scroll out. I didn't have to scroll out on the map. I knew.
has just disappeared. So Sazzy, he guides you
Wherever
out
could he be?
into, guides you outside in what appears to be lush gardens off to your left, and also off to your right. As points out and says, "All right, so Our
your headphones
gardens
just died.
Amelia, come with.
about the place right here.
Crimson, you cut out really bad.
Try again.
Hello.
She's wobbling over here, man.
back.
Wobbling.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. So,
For all it's worth, that's like the
He
only time it's
points-
been bad, which is nice.
so he points to these gardens and he says, "There are gardens established all about the keep here. They're all around, scattered about. Sasha, in her spare time, tended these gardens to. It's a form of meditation, a little bit, to
Okay,
reconnect
testing?
with nature."
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
My headphones disconnected all of a sudden, so
Oh, good.
I'm back now.
Welcome back.
But she used this as a form of meditation. She established these gardens. Of course, we helped out a little bit as a source of free food that we could utilize. So, cabbages, turnips, potatoes, carrots, all sorts of fun stuff.
Potatoes.
No onions. No onions. We hate onions. Up
Me
in
too.
here.
Oh, I like onions.
But we planted all sorts of vegetables all around here, and oh yes, over here off to my right as well, as he points off to this to the right. The door is closed. This right here is the prayer room that was used mainly by Derringer and Kaja. The rest of us, maybe not so much. Maybe occasionally for me, Adobe, or some of the others, but. Mainly used by Kaja and Derringer. There's an altar inside and everything.
What? Who did Derringer follow again? Was it Bahamut?
No, it was Tyr.
Tyr, okay. Tyr is
Yes.
the is Tyr also a dragon religion? Or no, Tyr is just the
No.
Norse one. Never mind.
Yes. So, Sazzy, say, there's the prayer room right there. If you want to have a look inside, you can. Otherwise, we could go around the other side of the keep.
Taking a peek inside, and I take a peek around.
So as you look inside, you happen to see Gale kneeling before the altar right here. He appears to be muttering something in conversation. And you see Caldez off to the side right here. He's
Breathing heavy.
no. He seems to be writing down every single word that Gale is talking about in a book that he has sitting before him. And as he looks over to you,
Close.
Gavitas, he squints his eyes at you and hand in front, shooing you out of the room.
Hey, Alright, guys, should I do something really funny?
Sure, go for it.
Do it.
Hey, Derringer. Read Caldez's book.
Yes. And Derringer, he'll say, "Hold on just a moment. Let me set this one chest down. I'll be right there." Bunch of sensual types. All right, I'll be there. And all of a sudden, you hear a thunderous crack emanating from inside the keep. Finally, on the other side, he pops into the room. Pop! And right before Caldez, and he's going to just walk up to him. He says, "Give me the book." He puts his hand on it, and Caldez is going to make a competing strength check against Derringer.
With
here.
Oh
a
my gosh.
simulacrum.
Oh, I am outside dying of laughter.
Oh my goodness.
So Caldez is going to make a strength save, and Derringer's going to have to make a strength check. So let's see if the wizard can outstrength.
I don't think he's doing this one.
Oh no.
Oh,
Three.
Alright,
Icy pants, mate. I think it's time you
There's-
drink some
If
water.
Yo,
Derringer
Sage, thanks so
a
much for
nat
the
one,
hydrate.
with possibility he can roll a nat 1. Come on, Derringer. I know you got. I almost hate your key here.
you can do
No,
it.
I haven't opened it in a
Derringer.
while.
so I'd like, while
second,
you're
I'm
doing that,
having-
I'd like to imagine that, like, what from your guys' perspective outside, I walk in, and you
Oh,
just,
Sage,
you
we're
just
having
hear
a
me go,
blast.
"Derringer,
We're
read
making
his
fun of the
book," and you
wizard.
just hear like a pop. And
Who's
then,
not
like,
here?
Caldez.
Oh.
You just hear him protest.
Oh boy, here we
Oh
go.
Of course, he's easily able to take the book, and as he holds the book in his
Easily.
hand, he begins quoting word for word as he puts one hand out as Caldez is trying to reach for it. like swinging both of his arms in order to try and grab it from his
He's just
hand.
stiff arming
as
him.
Derringer-
He's just,
He's stiff arming
no,
him
give me
the whole
it back.
time.
Give me back my book.
And as he's reading the book, he says, "So, do you want to read it from the current page or the previous pages?"
You can just scan it real quick for yourself, and I'll ask you later.
Like a summary.
And
Yeah, you can
Derringer,
use a summary.
Give us a
you see
synopsis.
his eyes flicker, and he goes, interesting. Yes, I see. Oh, there's a caricature right there. You tried to draw something.
Oh.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Ah, that was very quick. He didn't write very much. As he says, he snaps the journal shut and hands it to Caldez, who eagerly snatches it from his hands and looks over at you, Gavitas. Squinting his eyes, he points 2 fingers towards his eyes and then towards yours.
Very
I'm
threatening.
not going to forget this.
I think I'm the only one that hasn't punched him yet.
Might be.
I mean,
I
other
don't
than
want
Amelia.
you. I don't want you to forget, Caldez. That's fine. Then I leave.
And Derringer says, "Wait, was this all some sort of... good grief. I'm going to lay a ground rule right here, right now. Unless you irritate me enough, okay, I will not interfere in your own personal affairs. So, leave me out of them." He snaps his fingers and disappears out of sight.
Aw, come on, buddy.
Okay, Derringer. I want to hear your comedy later when we eat, maybe.
So as
Bonding
he
thing,
pops out of the
Derringer.
room, he would walk away and say, "Oh, interesting. It's one use of his capabilities. Don't overdo it, okay? He could get a little moody sometimes."
Really?
Really, 100%. Derringer could get very moody. Ugh. I'll swear he's a woman. Anywho. Sassy quickly walks away.
Did Zazzy just do a
No, bro.
sexism?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just bolting. Sassy is just bolting.
I might use my Gavitas punch on Sassy, actually.
You mean your Caldas punch?
Or my Caldez one, yeah, sorry.
Velka's,
your Caldas
Velka's
punch.
hideous faux pas, dude.
As he walks over here, he quickly takes this bridge across and say, "All right, so over
Oh, no,
here."
brother. Some of us are wearing plate.
Push
Or splint.
One person is inebriated, and she still hasn't made it all the way over here.
I'm accidentally pinging. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that.
It's okay.
Is
But,
it just like...
Sassy, yeah, that's happening to me too. But
Sorry.
he says, "All right, on the other side of the wall right here, you have some practice dummies that you can test out spells and weapons on." As he points to the wall. Over here, as you see a fenced-off area, is where you could test off your bows, crossbows, axe throwing, spell attacks if you want to try out accuracy and whatnot. The shooting range, if you will. Down this way is a weapons storage area. Here's your armory, where you could store all sorts of weapons. Now, it has a few mundane weapons that we left behind. That's about it. But other than that, you could store your weapons wherever you want to. There's weapon racks for just about everything inside this right here. Over here is your smithy. Now, over here, of course, you got your anvil, you got your furnace and everything. You got all the tongs and tools and water buckets that you'll need to craft all sorts of weapons. Now, basic weapons, yes. If you're wanting to get into the heftier stuff with enchantments and everything, well, Garrick and Gareth never really did that with the Forge. They were planning on working on it, but it's, again, before the last mission that we went on. They never did get around to it. But Derringer did put this Forge together. By himself. And all of that.
Sorry, what was that last part?
Yeah, you cut out real bad.
Derringer crafted this forge all by himself.
Ah.
A lot of effort into it. This is all handmade right here. It wasn't originally part of. And he then walks over here and says, this room right here is, of course, used for weapon crafting. If you want to get into that, you can modify your weaponry in here. There is... thought there was a schematic or two. I can't remember specifically. I might have sold it. I think I did, actually.
So, fun
Anywho.
fact, I actually did blacksmithing IRL for a while when I was in high school. It was super fun.
Oh,
It was really cool.
that's
I
neat.
made a knife and some nails and stuff. It was really awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Sassy.
Just random, but I got excited about the forge. I was like, oh, cool.
It's just like high
As
school.
he would also mention, as he would mention a few last details, saying, right behind me there's this tower. There are 4 towers at each. There's one tower at each corner. These 4 towers are all accessible here inside the keep, ground level. They stand a nice ways high, so another factor you might see Derringer popping in on top of any one of these towers at any point in time. Because part of our contract with Baldur's Gate, in order to get tax relief on the keep itself, we have to make sure that we have somebody constantly patrolling the keep and looking outside the walls for anybody potentially trying to move in on Baldur's Gate and report our findings. So if Derringer doesn't keep up his duties, which should be impossible, I mean, he's constantly moving, you must. By the by. Also, if the keep does ever come under attack, like I said, Derringer, with the snap of his fingers, could summon a ballista on any of these towers at any point in time. So, saying,
How many? Can you
the
only do
keep
one at
comes under
once?
attack.
When you say
Uh,
waist high.
I think he said a ways high.
Oh,
Waist
okay.
high.
Okay, gotcha. I was
So,
concerned because I'm
He said,
like 4 feet tall or something.
Sassy is going to make a little bit of a history check himself to see if he can remember specifically, because he's having a good old head scratch. As far as he can remember, they've never had to do that before, except for once. Here should be able to roll here, hopefully. With a 16, yes, he's able to recall. So, yes. Unfortunately, you can only summon 1 ballista at a time. We had to do that once. We had to do that when city was under attack. There were some unfriendly forces that tried to take the keep, of which Derringer single-handedly fended them off. Should have seen the place. It gained the name Crimson a very good reason, even though it was well before that time. The place was painted with it. Ugh. Derringer had a good old time smiting all of them. But other than that, the last detail over here, of course, there's an access door to the stable right here. This is good old Marigold's stable. Marigold is the mare that we keep here. She's been helping us out for a good old time. She's not old. She's only about 3, but she helps move stuff from the keep into town and from town into the keep and whatnot. So if you need anything brought from in town and whatnot, you could do so. Of course, I mean, you already got a horse yourself. But yeah, this is the Crimson Keep. Do you have any questions about your new residence?
Nope.
None at all? None at all? Well, he says as he reaches by his hip and
I have a
he
question.
begins. Yes.
This, in this other little garden, because I just happened to look over here. This, what is this? Like, is it like a little gazebo thing?
Yes, it's a little gazebo right there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry. I'm excited about everything. I love this place.
It's It's a little gazebo that has little boxes hanging off of each side that has random assortment of either flowers, spices, or other sorts of smaller vegetation.
Ooh, cool.
So that,
My only other question is, how fireproof, are things? Like, if my
I am.
spirit were to be, no, I'm saying you. It could be you. I might worry about you a little bit, Mr. Fire Breath.
I haven't set our house on fire in years.
Well, I'm just in case. I'm just asking, you know.
It's only that one time, and I'll never do that again.
Why was it insurance fraud?
Sassy would say, now, if you try to intentionally set this place on fire, it's not going to be all too easy. He says he walks over here by this wall, over to his side. You see him pull out one of his daggers off by his side, and as he does so, see him kind of flip it in his hand and try to stab the wall, and as he does so, the dagger bounces off as a rune lights on the wall and goes flying behind him onto the table. Blink, 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 landing right here in front of you two.
Okay, cool. So my wildfire spirit's not going to be an issue then. Okay.
And he says, it won't be an issue against the walls of the keep. Now, if you do that with the vegetation outside, obviously it's not protected, so it could catch on fire.
Gotcha.
Duly noted.
So yes. Other than that, if you don't questions, he reaches by his side, you can hear the jangling of keys. These keys belong to you lot, and by the way, who will be keeping up with these jangly keys?
I'll hold on to them.
Alright, so Aldian, you...
I have the pooled gold still, I guess. So yeah, you hold on to the keys.
So Aldian, you receive the jangly keys.
Jangly keys.
Yes, the jangly keys.
The Dutchman's treasure.
I really wish I had keys on me.
I was about to bring my keys.
I got no keys on me.
I got jangly keys. Hang on a moment.
Oh, let's go.
Wait.
This one
Hang
goes out to all the ADD kids.
Oh, wait. I might win.
Jingle, jingle, jingle,
Whatever
jingle.
gets
There,
first.
I won.
It's not
I
coming
got
through
the
here.
keys first.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
You hear the jangly
Here.
keys?
Jangle them. Oh no, the sound suppression is working.
Yeah, the sound
a
suppression
shot.
actually works for once.
Fine.
trying.
Just imagine theater of the mind. There are keys jangling.
I tried.
Wait,
gonna
hold
leave
on,
it
I
at
think I
that.
can do this.
Oh, yeah, here, let me come over to you. I got this. Hold on. Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Oh yeah.
Jangly
There we
keys.
go. Yay.
I want a fidget spinner.
Oh, my gosh.
You want a fidget spinner? You want alcohol? Dude, Gen Z. It's bad,
Aren't you
dude.
Gen Z, dude?
Gen Z, dude.
I accidentally
it's bad.
grabbed my pepper spray, too.
Celeste, I know you're
What?
Gen Z, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm older Gen Z.
Still.
Stop. Y'all are making me feel old.
You're
I'm a
young. What are you
millennial.
talking
I'm
about?
the border.
As he hands over the keys, he looks to the rest of you and says, well, I'm going to let you guys have your time about this keep. Do whatever you want. This is your home now. I'll also mention this. For anything else, as I mentioned beforehand, before you began all this sting and heroic work, there's several things you could do. As you've established your guild, obviously you'll need to get your name out there somehow. I mean, obviously, helping out a little village, a township like New Corrydale, that'll get you some repertoire amongst their people, but if you want to expand your name amongst the realm as a whole, you'll need to do a little bit more and go the extra mile. Either joining a faction or by doing some great feat that'll get your name out there.
Like winning
What
the
does that say?
WWT.
Well, like maybe that, or maybe even helping out with the situation here in the gate.
Oh right, Asterion.
You could do that. So, I mean, there's lots of things you could do. Oh, even this. You could help out the Lords Alliance by killing off the warlords left off by the Cult of the Absolute.
Killing
I
warlords?
like that one.
I mean, there is that. Then again, that would get you in pretty good with the Lords Alliance. Unless you want to do what we did, is Derringer's daunted. And immediately at the mention of the guild, you see Derringer stand up from his seat and walk over. And as he does so, he begins to monologue, saying, "We withstood the test of time, all by ourselves, fighting against the legions and hordes of evil. All by ourselves, we didn't have to rely on the Lord's Alliance. We didn't have to rely on the Emerald Enclave. We didn't have to rely on the Order of the Gauntlet or any of these other flashy organizations. All
Okay,
that we
Boomer.
relied on was each other. All that we had to rely on was..." Wait, did you say that out loud?
No.
That would be extra
Derringer would have looked at you
confusing.
like, what? Anywho, Derringer would look at the rest of the group and say, "You do not need any of these factions in order to succeed. All you need is true grit and determination in order to do so."
Derringer, I'm not
That you
looking
can.
for factions. I'm looking for fights. I don't care about earning favor with factions. Taking out the warlords would be the reward within itself.
Indeed.
I'm with Aldian on that. That sounds like fun.
Sassy would give a little bit of a chin scratch as he looks at the rest of the group and he says, "Well, it will be easier to travel to and fro once more flaming fists are about the roads. Until then, they're being kept within the confines of the city in order to deal with riots and in case they break out. If you were to travel the roads right now, it'd be very dangerous. Pretty sure you found that out when you went to New Corridale."
So we gotta take care of the roads first, and then
Yeah. Everything's connected.
and the road thing's connected to the Asterion thing.
And
Now,
that's connected
here's,
to everything
here's the
else.
thing. Here's the thing. You guys technically can travel anywhere you want to on the roads. You could go to El Terrell and check that out. You could go to Waterdeep. You could go to Candlekeep. You could go to any one of those places. You could find quests about the city. The thing is, though, with the current political climate going on in Baldur's Gate and the lack of guards on the road maintaining the peace, will have more difficult encounters you would if the guards were patrolling. So in other words, even if you roll lower rolls on a d20 as you're traveling about, there'll be a lesser chance of you encountering more bad guys, in other words.
So what you're saying is it's time to power level?
You need a
No.
montage.
It's not tied to power level, it's tied to decisions, because decisions have consequences and results.
Got it.
So
Okay,
if you
alright,
don't
well,
resolve the situation here, there won't be any guards on the roads. That means you're on your own. If you do resolve the situation here before you go out, there will be more guards on the roads. It'll be easier to travel.
all right. Well, I guess we'll resolve the situation here first, unless anybody has any objections to that.
Before we get involved in that, I would like to at least take the amulet to that one priest that we had talked about in the session I was here last. At least to drop
Okay.
it off. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I have this horrible artifact of Tiamat. I believe
Take it, please,
it was
take
to
it.
Helm, right?
Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it.
Yeah. To the
And
Fix it.
Sassy will then walk around the group, going from person to person, putting a hand on your shoulder each and shaking your hand if you would do so, or just simply patting you on the shoulder. Goes around.
Give him a big hug.
Sat would accept that as he hobbles around the room, of course, with his wooden leg. And he then says, "Well, you guys enjoy your keep. I'm going to go back to the tavern."
Have a good one, Sazzy.
Would
Bye bye, Zazie.
Okay, so I kind of want to make like flowers grow on his leg
Why his leg?
because it's wood.
He has a wooden
And
leg.
it came from a tree,
Oh,
but
that's
it's a dead
right.
tree.
Yeah, but I have druid
You're gonna bring the
craft.
tree back to life as it's attached to him?
No, it won't
This
bring
man's
it back
gonna
to
have
life.
to
It
occasionally
He's just-
use an axe
I mean,
on his leg.
he's already walked outside the door.
Darn. Okay.
And as he does so, Derringer would look around at the rest of the group and say, "Well, your decision, heroes, what you want to do. In the meantime, I'm going to practice up on my comedy routine."
I'm gonna have a fun
Pops on
time
over.
pranking
Yeah.
Derringer.
He
don't
pops
know if
on
you're
over
gonna
to
do
the
that. He's-
stage,
Practically an omnipresent simulacrum.
Well, you
That's
know
gonna
what?
be very difficult.
and
I would like to do druid craft anyway, and I would like to determine the weather for the next 24 hours.
okay, you could
Do I
link
just
that into chat.
Here you go.
Let's see.
So
Which
it's like
branch of the
a
spirits of nature you
golden
create one of the following
orb.
effects?
Oh, hey, Caldas is back.
Okay, good. As Caldas walks back into the room, he says, "Well, I was sitting there taking notes. Gale has something that he would like to say to the rest of the group."
Uh-huh.
And he steps over here to the table. You see Gales walk into the room. As he does so, he walks by Caldes and Gavitas right here. Seems to have a little bit of a serious look on his face as he enters into the room. And I'm going to change the music in order to fit the dramatic vibe going for here.
What was the weather?
All right, so the weather for the next 24 hours is going to be and sunny.
What in Sunny? You cut out.
And sunny.
Okay, do it again. I'm gonna say clear and sunny is what he's
Bright,
going for.
bright and sunny, clear and
Bright and
sunny.
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 Okay,
Got it.
so a
Sun.
golden orb. Okay, gotcha.
Yes. Gale would walk into the room with a serious expression on his face as he looks on at the rest of the group.
Something wrong, Gale?
I spoke with Mistra, both at the tavern and just now. She's not happy.
She's not what?
She's
very
not happy.
Is that what you said? Okay.
She's not very happy. She's not very happy that any piece of the crown of Cartus is outside of our grasp. There's a reason why she brought you six along, specifically. I mentioned that back in Redjaw's lair, but I didn't elaborate. You see, the Crown of Carsus is a very powerful artifact that was put together by a very naive and very powerful wizard who led to a crisis of sorts because he decided to use a spell, briefly making himself a god. If you could even call him that. He turned himself to stone, and Crown in and of itself maintained much of the power that he absorbed into himself. He created his own variant of the weave. In essence, he channeled the weave in order to create his own copycat version of it. The Crown of Carsus was then used by an evil organization by the name of the Cult of the Absolute in order to control an elder brain. Yair, the hero of Baldur's Gate, as well as me and several others, we destroyed the crown. I recovered the pieces and brought it to Mistra. It was where it was kept in her pocket for so long in her dimension, a very plane of existence. Then someone found a way to sneak into her plane for a brief moment to try and grasp the crown. And as they did, it shattered into several pieces, one of which severed in Red Jaw's lair. I've been using a special talisman that I crafted specifically when I was back in my tower in Waterdeep in order to locate these pieces. But the problem is, it seems that these pieces are crashing outside of time, one piece, in various different areas.
Don't say it.
The talisman led me to New Corrydale, and eventually to Red Jaw's lair. Now, I need your help in collecting another piece. Apparently, there is another piece in Baldur's Gate. And what I ask is that you would help me retrieve it. Specifically in Baldur's Gate, I'm not sure. There's so many variables that could be thrown in. There's a lot of magic here. The presence of the weave is strong. So there's much confusion. Wait, what?
That was an
What was that hit
accident.
dice
Dear,
roll?
you're not talking in Discord.
I'm sorry. I was trying to click back onto my character sheet and clicked hit dice by accident. How do I get rid of that?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Gale would look at the rest of the group and say, I know that I just brought you into this, and really you came here, but if you'd be willing, what I need you to do is to help us in this time and in this hour, to help retrieve these artifacts before this Novus Arcanum does so. Because if they retrieve the Crown of Karsus, and if they have anybody who knows how to use the weave, even better than Karsus himself, the weave and the realm itself, well, not just this realm, no, other realms will be in trouble. Asking is this, is if you, as the merciful misfits, would help me recover these pieces.
Gale, you had me at I need you to go fight some people.
As he looks to the rest of the group and says, well, does everybody be willing to help?
Absolutely.
I'll go where Aldian goes.
Yeah.
And Caldez immediately bolt out of his seat and he says, well, if it means getting your help at any point in time in the future, then yes, I will.
It's like he's right here with us.
Nerd.
It's like he's right here with us. It's a really good impression.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
A really good impression. You're doing an impression of
And,
somebody doing a character. voice.
Well,
Very
if
impressive.
it's
It
you
was
know
impressive.
with Gale, I would love to go.
So, Gale,
with Gale
immediate-
Senpai.
With Gale Senpai.
Gale immediately,
Gale Sama.
Gale says, most excellent. All right, so first and foremost, I have this talisman right here. And immediately, as soon as he hands that out, you see Caldez bolt and almost trip over his seat as he
Oh my
runs around
gosh.
you, Gavitas. He runs over here, over to Gale, and he swipes at the talisman off the table. And he says, is there anything else you'd like to give us?
Oh my
And
gosh.
Gale, he leans over to the side and looks over at him, and he says, I have a message stone that will immediately link you to, and Caldez swipes it out of Gale's hands. And Gale just he looks at his hand, he looks over at Caldez, he's like, oh, okay, well, in that case,
Is this where we
use
get
the
to see
talisman or
Gale punch Caldez?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Gale,
Gale, you
Gale's
might
not
want to
trying
give your
remember
puppy
that.
a little pat on the head.
Gale's not.
Oh.
He's not looking to punch him. He's just like, okay. He's very enthusiastic about this. Good to see you drive. And on that note, Gale, he'll then turn to everybody else and say, all right. While you are looking for the artifact, in the meantime, I'm going to devote all of my time in order to try and investigate this Novus Arcanum, to try and find out where they came from, their origins, how long they've been around. As long as I've existed, I've never heard of Novus Arcanum. I'll have to look at the symbology even of their masks. Let me see if that has anything to do with it. I'll look at first in my tower in Waterdeep. And if I can't find anything there, then I know a friend in Candlekeep that can help me there. And as soon as he mentions Candlekeep, Caldez will look over to Gale and say, wait a minute. Is it who I think it is? Is it who I think it is? He says he leans into the table right now, almost getting into Gale's face, and Gale just leans back out of his seat as he goes, yes, if we're both thinking of Elminster, then yes, Elminster. We'll
Caldez,
surely
you're
know
making
something.
you're making Gale uncomfortable. Sit down.
Maybe one of the sages, possibly. Anywho, talisman is in your hands, and I'll leave this message stone in your hands to communicate back and forth with my findings and with yours. In the meantime, to my tower I go. It'll be a pleasure working alongside all of you. And know this, you're not just the merciful misfits, but Mistra's chosen. Good luck, adventurers. And as he says so, he snaps his fingers, he closes his eyes, and as he does so, he kind of pauses there for a moment. As he cracks one of his eyes open and he looks, sees that he's still in the room. That was supposed to work. Hang on. What? Hang on. What's going on? You see Derringer stop for a moment
Can I
as
do
he's
a
reading...
perception check or like a magic check to see what's going on with this magic?
Roll an Arcana. Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check.
There we go.
I want to just be like, try walking outside the runes.
Performance
That
issues,
could be
Gale.
it.
That might be a decent idea. This place is warded. Whatever you're doing might be getting stifled by whatever warding that.
That's unfortunate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Try it outside, buddy.
So,
Take it outside.
still in a state of inebriation with a 5. You would say, maybe you should try snapping your fingers harder. Or maybe you should shout, I'm out of here!
I'll
Well,
see if I
that's a
can
lot.
tell him to go outside.
So,
With a 15, you could tell it's the runes inside the keep.
Yeah.
You did it.
Smart.
Actually, really good intuition.
No,
on that.
I was laughing, Aether.
Thank you.
My bad.
I was kind of giggling.
Well, I will
Interesting.
try to teleport outside the keep. I'll see you all later. It was pretty
wonder
awkward.
if that warding
Good luck.
prevents people from teleporting in as well.
I would assume so, yeah.
I would also assume so. That would be actually. I'm surprised that that's not just like default on most large buildings. That you can't just have someone teleport in, take
And
your stuff, and then.
Agnar, why are you
Teleport out.
following Gale outside?
Agnar is going to make sure it does work and report back to everyone
So-
if it doesn't.
Gale
With no
steps
words,
outside.
he just
He
follows.
closes his eyes, ducks his head, and as he snaps his fingers,
Ooh. Sorry, that was cool.
he gone.
It was the crowd.
He is gone.
Agnar
Yes.
goes
Like,
back in and gives a
clap
thumbs up to
lightly.
everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
Agnar.
golf clap, yeah.
Yes.
Whoever's the owner
You
of a
guys
white
now
sedan,
have-
you left your lights on.
Whoa!
You guys now have control over the entirety of the Crimson Keep. You are free to go about Baldur's Gate as you wish from this point forward. And I know that it is getting towards 6 o'clock right now. So what are you guys going to do specifically in the next session? What are your plans? Because I know that some of you mentioned that you wanted to go explore the city. I know that Elias mentioned that he wanted Caldez to look for a smithy that could forge his wand together with the quarterstaff that he has. I know that Gavitas, you have the token. Amelia,
His
you wanted to look
mayonnaise.
into
There
the
no-
pearl.
Is there a substance like duct tape in the Forgotten Realms? Is there
There's
are there
cloth.
uses like that? Like an
There's
adhesive
cloth. You could
Just
you
tape
could just
it
tie
together.
it,
It would be
Yeah,
called duct tape.
just tie it
Just
together.
duct tape the wand to the end of his staff.
Essentially. But the reason Reason being of why I'm asking and what you guys are going to do next session is if you're going to be going about Baldur's Gate, what I would ask is if you're going in groups or if you're going by yourselves, I would need each of you to roll for initiative to decide who's going first and who's doing what first.
Yeah.
If you're going
For like the
Baldur's Gate.
Whoa.
that was you just cut out really bad, but I think you were just saying if we go out through Baldur's Gate.
I mean, I would like to get started with.
Decide to go out gate.
Yeah.
Hang on.
It doesn't matter to me if anybody comes with me. I just want to take that amulet, and that's basically everything. And then the only other thing I could imagine immediately wanting to do is basically look through our stables and see if there's anything that we would need to have the stables be properly stocked for the horse that we have. Because we only have one, right? I know there's two on the map, but we only have
Well, you've got the horse in the
Or do we have
cart,
two?
which was
Just
one
one
that you
horse?
rented. You also have Marigold, which was sitting outside of the sitting in the stable right here.
Oh, so we do have two horses now. Okay. Yeah.
So
I'll
technically,
make
yes,
sure
you
that
do have two
everything's-
horses.
Well, I'll make sure that
Uh.
we're well stocked on everything for that, and that the horses are taken care of. So those are the only two things I could think of wanting to do next session with the information we have now.
I don't have anything in particular that I'm wanting to do.
I was gonna just follow Aldian. Did we take care of the amulet thing with the priest, or are we
That's
gonna
what
do
that's
that?
what Gavitas
No.
is gonna do. He's
No.
gonna go
Okay.
to the priest.
Do you want to go with
Yes.
him to do that?
Sure,
Sure,
we can go with him to go.
All right,
do
we'll go with Gavitas then.
Speaking of which,
Alright,
I
so-
never brought it back up, but like I, however, was safest to do it, like using cloth and making sure it was completely covered. Put the
Yes.
Amulet alone back in the pack. Because remember,
Yes,
I poured
that you
everything out
could.
before. Yep. I just want to make
You
sure
could
it
do
was
so.
mentioned, so it's not just
So-
sitting there in the hallway on the floor.
It looks like
Somebody
it looks
randomly
like
steps
Amelia's
on it,
going
gets
to be.
possessed.
Amelia's looking to go by herself. Aldian, Fate, and Gavitas would be traveling
Where
together.
to the
So
bar?
no, she mentioned. I believe she mentioned something about finding out. Actually, it was one of the sessions that she wasn't here when you were trying to go back into the gate and got your reward. Which also, yes, you guys also have that gold that you received as your reward that you could also spend if you wish or save.
I do want to ask about that because like I still have the 385 gold
Oh, in your
that we
inventory?
had up until that point. Do you
Yes.
guys want me to still just hang on to that? That way we have spending money if
That-
we need it.
I think we should leave everything here that we are not taking on our individual persons for whatever we need inside the safe room.
Well, on that for a moment, I gotta run back. I gotta run to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell me what you
just-
guys come up.
Yep. That whole thing can be handled in between sessions. We'll just message Crimson. Like basically, we'll get like essentially a balance on how much gold everyone should have, like what belongs to them, and then like everyone can just decide how much they're taking out.
I'm gonna go ahead and end
Okay.
off stream real quick. You guys can keep talking, and I'll rejoin back
Yeah.
in since we're not doing actually any like story stuff anymore. We're just talking about logistics.
Okay. But logistics are fun and entertaining.
Oh yeah, it's super entertaining for stream
It
and
is.
and
Ah.
and for YouTube. All right.
Yeah, that's
I'll
why
be
you,
right
you
back.
make it the after show.
Right. All right, I'll be right back.
Remember when Walking Dead had like 8 seasons of a talk show about how they made Walking Dead?
Yep. All right, be right back.
Bye, guys.
Whoops. I pushed the wrong button. All right, chat. Alrighty, that was Dungeons and Dragons session 14. So let's find somebody to raid. We raided V earlier today. So let's find who else is currently streaming. Ooh, Stratus is currently live, so let's raid into Stratus. I've not ever raided into Stratus before, so. All right, / raid Stratus live. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming by, hanging out with me. I will be live again Monday. I will be on Kitty's stream here in about an hour and a half. we're going to be playing some Pal World, so make sure to tune in to Kitty's stream for that. I hope that you all have a blessed evening. Here's your raid message if you're one of my followers. And if you are one of my subscribers, here is your raid message. All right. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming by. I will see you this evening in Kitty's stream, and then again on Monday. Have a great night, everybody. God bless. Bye, everybody.